What's up, guys?
Good to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see y'all. How's it going? You have a good Comic-Con?
How's your Comic-Con going so far?
It's pretty awesome. It's the first time I've ever been here.
Yeah?
And I'm from San Diego.
What do you think?
It's great. I mean, it's just... I've been to other similar events, but this is the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's... I've had shows that I've been on, be here, but I've been shooting or unable to go, so I'm thrilled to be here and to be talking about The Last Ship, because it's obviously a very important show to me.
Last time we spoke, that was your first time into the show, right? You're coming in a newbie as a new member. So how does it feel now, rolling in with the ball, and has it gotten...
You know, it's been so great watching the show and seeing how, and also getting feedback from the fans and what they think of Sasha and how she's joined this crew, and it's made me really excited. I'm really hopeful that we get to do more because you know, the show each season has a different vibe to it. I really love that season 1 was very specific and season 2 was a different tone, and now season 3 I feel like this show is shifting, and I'd be really curious to see what the fourth could be.
Awesome.
I was going to say, you're not really a stranger to playing kick-butt characters, so how does this character compare? And this time you're using more guns, I would think.
A lot more weapons, yeah. It's been, you know, I've had some here and there, some training, but I felt like I needed a lot of brushing up, so I went to some ranges with a friend of mine who's a Green Beret and needed a lot of work, and you know, and then on set we have real SEALs training us, and especially with like this, there's some sniper work that I've got coming up in a few episodes, and we learned that Sasha is very comfortable with the sniper rifle. So I had a lot of learning to do, especially with that.
You talked about the show changing. I mean, from viewing it being on.
Yeah.
How would you sort of describe the change? How do you think the show is now?
Well, you know, as Steven said earlier, he could have written a show where they're still looking for the cure.
Yeah.
You know, they could still be in season 3 and they're still looking for it. But this show is so fast paced and so intense that because of the choices that the writers have made, I think it's opened up more opportunities for the show and for the characters. And you know, it's like this season being set in Asia, and all this mystery being involved is, I find it really appealing, and I love that the show shifts and changes and it gives the audience something new. Not just each week, but I feel like each season has a very different tone.
Do you have any connection with the character in particular?
With Sasha, I had to do more research for this character than any character I've ever played before. Mostly because my knowledge of the Navy was rather limited, especially intelligence officer and someone who would have this much ground tactical experience. So I had to do a lot of research in that department. I managed to get some really great time with a female naval intelligence officer and go on her ship and meet the people that she works with. And I also had to fill in a lot of backstory in terms of how Sasha would have this many skills. I mean, the amount of languages she speaks, she has technical skills, and she's got first aid skills, we'll see later. And so I decided that she would have had a lot of ground experience doing reconnaissance with SEALs. And it also shows how she's so comfortable with Danny Green's character and Wolf's character. She's really comfortable in a group of strong men and feels right at home. So I love that part of her. I find it really appealing, and that she's just as confident as she is in this very masculine world.
And is there an appeal also when a lot of these shows, when you do an action show, it's sort of damn the consequences. You carry out your actions, do what you have to do, damn the consequences. It feels like this show is these characters constantly worried about the consequences.
Yeah, it's incredibly high stakes as well. It's like if you hesitate, if you mess up, you or your friend is going to end up dead. And so, but these are also the kind of characters that go towards the danger. You know, they're not going to run away from the bullets. They're going to go towards it. And so, these are the real heroes that we're portraying, which is another reason why we feel so. I feel like I really want to get this right, because there are people who really do this. You know, so I think in terms of the consequences, we're constantly thinking about, I mean, this season especially, it's one hurdle after the next, and up until last episode, all we were trying to do was get our crew back. That's all that we were focused on, or their crew, I should say, actually. Yeah, it feels like such a volatile, dangerous world that we're in, and we're trying to hold onto these values that were in store before the plague. So yeah, I mean it's pretty exciting.
Any other show would put a lot more focus or emphasis on relationship between your character and the captain. And how do you feel about the fact that this show has, I think, done a really good job of balancing that? Or do you think that it's done a good job?
I really loved the moment at the end of last week's episode when Tom came up to Sasha and put his hand on her shoulder, and that's all it was. I think in another show it would have been a long scene where they would have talked about their feelings, or what have you. It's very rare that these characters have a breath, have a moment to think about how they're feeling. And I said to Steven it would be interesting to see what these characters how they would react to having a moment of stillness and quiet. Because there's a PTSD probably going on, there's a lot of loss, a lot of pain, and it could be interesting to explore. But right now, there's so much going on that, and also, I mean, Tom and Sasha are not ones to put their personal feelings above the greater good of the world. So, yeah, it's not a priority, but at the same time, they're human. And I found it interesting when Sasha exposed her feelings and told him how she felt and showed him how she felt. Because I think they also know that life is very fragile, and they understand that life can be lost very quickly in this world. So you should tell someone how you feel in that moment, because you might not have it again.
But the show is so intense, like you were talking about on camera. What's it like behind the scenes when you guys are shooting? Because it's such heavy material that you.
Yeah, it depends on the day. There's certain days where it's very high stakes, and we're doing a lot of dangerous stuff. So everybody has to really bring their A game. The crew, our stunt departments, everyone. It's all about safety, and so. But then there's other days where they're a little bit lighter, and we're able to have a laugh and joke around. But we're doing a lot of dangerous stuff, and it takes a lot of time and effort, and the crew is really incredible, and just really bringing it, every week. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.